Guys, we're back with the Screen Team. We are doing movies about Frankenstein. We're also talking about the Poplar Bluff Public Library. We got Sue here with us, giving us all the details on the library. And, you know, I was on that database you were talking earlier today. You go to that website and you can just see what you guys have to offer and type in movies to see if you have particular movies. It's really an interactive website. It's really cool.
And it's easy to use. That's what's so cool about it. And on the films, you got them for 3 days. And audiobooks, 21 days and so on like that. There's e-comics, graphic novels. It's pretty awesome what's on that database.
And it's free. It's awesome. Check it out, the Poplar Bluff Public Library. We'll be getting into a lot of activities and stuff that have coming up here in the future in just a bit. But first, another film we're going to talk about is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This movie is, I want to say it's a classic, but it's a classic in a different way. When you think of like Gone with the Wind or Wizard of Oz, movies like that, those movies are classics. This movie is a classic, like a B-movie classic almost. This is a film that when it came out, it was not a very big hit. It was definitely looked down upon, but for some reason there was a little momentum with it, a little underground praise for it, which kept growing decade after decade and year after year, and it became a huge underground hit and almost like a pop sensation almost.
Well, it's the only film that's been still continuously showing in theaters for 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it has. And it doesn't show at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock. It's a midnight showing.
Yeah.
And you have people who come in who play the characters. They're dressed like the characters. There are even on second and sometimes third generation family members who are involved in acting out the film.
Yeah.
And they've met their spouses and their significant others as they've been going through with this film over the years. I can remember the very first time that I saw the characters as I was at the University of Missouri in Columbia, Missouri, and I'm walking down Broadway and they're going by one of the old theaters there, and it's about midnight. Some friends and I had gone to something at somewhere downtown, and as we're walking out, and I said, "What's going on? Who are those people?" And they were all dressed up like Rocky Horror Picture Show. They were different characters, everyone from Riff Raff to Frankenfurter and so on like that. So
just out of curiosity, you picked it to kind of go along with our theme. Do you like the film?
No, it's not my favorite film. I like the music. I like the fact that I'm seeing actors that I've known about, such as Tim Burton, Susan Sarandon. The other part of it is that I understand where it's coming from, and I like some of the music that's in it. And I understand it from a cultural point of view. It's one of the rock operas. You had things like, Jesus Christ Superstar and Godspell and all of those, and Tommy wasn't long after that. And then also you have to look at it in relationship. It is the beginning or a part of the beginning of punk rock in terms of you have the people like Kiss and Queen and so on like that. And one person who's in there that maybe many people don't know, and that's Meatloaf. Meatloaf he played Eddie in the show, and he's Frankenfurter's son actually, and so real son.
So what's the connection here with our other two movies?
It's the fact that it does carry through still with the Frankenstein theme, and it follows the same storyline. Interestingly enough, all three films have barking dogs in them, and there are some things that just carry through. The vat that Rocky Horror is in and comes out of the abyss or out of the mess is what is also the same vat that was used in a 1958 Frankenstein film.
Yeah.
And one of the things I didn't say about the very first film, the old one, is they had a real Tesla machine in there.
Really?
And then when we talk about Young Frankenstein, I'll talk about the connection back to that one. So that there's this cult around Frankenstein in Hollywood that continues to this day.
For someone who hasn't seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show, who is this for?
It's for people who are willing to watch the unconventional.
That was perfectly said. That was well said. I agree. This is a movie I have not seen, and I mean, I've seen little scenes here and there, obviously, the time warp scene and stuff like that, but this is a film that has not yet I haven't put it in the DVD player yet. So
It's not for children.
okay. Is it 13 or rated R?
I would even say that if I were going to watch it with my children, I would want them to be 16, 17 and older.
Okay, good to
I don't
know.
know that it's R-rated, but the adult themes are things that I would want to talk with my children about as we're watching the film or before the film and after the film.
All right, good to know. It's the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and obviously you can find it on DVD. Give it a look at the Poplar Bluff Public Library. Check out their Hoopla database, and if you can, check out one of those midnight showings as well. And of course, Sue, a lot of stuff coming up. Let's before we get to break, let's start off with one coming up at the end of this month. You've got where is it? The spring reading?
Yes, the spring reading program for our grade school through junior high kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they can get prizes. They can get food prizes on a weekly basis, as well as they can be entered for drawings. And you know what? I forgot to ask Aaron, but a lot of times we have things like a Kindle or something like that
wow.
that people can draw for at the end of the reading program. And it's based on number of hours reading. Number of minutes reading. So if you're reading 15 minutes, then you get a sheet and you can start filling it in. 15 minutes is long, and your schoolwork counts. So if you're reading your textbook for school, that's reading.
Nice.
All we want people to read, because the more we read, the better we do in school and the better we do in life. And studies have shown that.
That's very, very true. If they want more information on the spring reading program, and of course, also the summer reading program coming up later, how do they get this information?
The information is on our website, www.popperbluff.org. Also, Erin, our children's librarian, she's going to start visiting the schools soon, and you'll start seeing her show up in the classroom and talking about the summer reading program. So look for Erin and her nice smile.
Beautiful. We got more with Sue coming up after the break. Young Frankenstein right here on the Screen Team.